Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today what we learn how to use PowerPoint to create presentations. Okay, to start PowerPoint, just go to your start and type in Power, and that is PowerPoint. And just come over here, right click. Okay, we're going to paste this, or we're going to pin this on the taskbar and the start. So I'm going to pin in the start menu, and I'll also have it in my taskbar. And there you go, that's PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and start PowerPoint. Okay, this is the main screen. Whenever you start PowerPoint, this is the main screen that you get. And over here you have these three options. The first one is by default the Home tab. If you want to create a new presentation, click on New. If you want to open an old file that you have already saved in PowerPoint, you can use Open. And over here you have the blank presentation. The blank presentation and new is basically the same thing. On the right you see over here is different themes that you can select. And basically what this does is, let me just select one. And I'll say create. As soon as you say create, it will download it and show it to you. Okay, now what you can do over here is you can use this presentation and modify the items inside like so, and use it for anything that you want to present. Okay, let me close this. Let me exit one more time. I'll say do not save. Let me close this, and I'll start PowerPoint one more time. Okay, click on PowerPoint, and we're going to start with a new or a blank presentation. Click on this one, and this is the main screen that you get for PowerPoint, or the main interface. Okay, on the left side you will see all the slides, and on the right side you will see the slide that you're currently working on. Okay, so over here you have the basic menus. You have file, for example. You can save this. Okay, I want to save it. And let's say my documents folder, and I'll give it, for example, my first presentation. Okay, give it any name. Okay, and that's the name. Give it over here. And then you have the Home tab, and then you have Insert, Draw, Design, Transition. So these are basically the default menus that you get. If you come over here on the right side, of course, if you're familiar with Windows, this is the Minimize button, and that is the Maximize. And if you want to close it, you press the X or Close button. Let me maximize my screen, my presentation. Now it's taking the whole screen. And then as soon as you start with a blank presentation, you will always get these two objects. Okay, so basically these are text boxes, and if you click inside, you can type something over here and say my presentation. Okay, and this is subtitle. Learning PowerPoint. Okay, so if you come down over here, you have the status bar. You can right click, and basically what you can do over here is you can turn these options on or off. Okay, for example, you have the slide. Okay, that's your indicator. If you do not want to see this, just turn this off. Okay, that goes away. If you don't want to see the theme option, you can turn this off. Okay, so you can do it one by one. Okay, for my case, what I want to do is just want to turn this on. They're usually helpful when you're working with your presentations. Okay, so I'll say signatures. Okay, so if you come down over here, you have different buttons over here. This is the zoom or fit to screen button. This is your zoom, and this is your zoom slider. You can increase or decrease. This one over here, if you want to run your presentation from the current slide, you can click on this one, slideshow. Okay. You want to exit this, just press the escape key once on the keyboard, and it brings you back out of the presentation. Next, you have the reading or the reader view. Click on this one, and basically, again, shows you a different kind of view in which you only read. The menus disappear. Next, you have the slide sorter. Right now, I have just one slide. That is why it's showing you just one slide. But once you have a lot of slides, you can use the slide sorter to move your slides around, okay? And then this is the normal view, and this is the view you'll be working in. Okay, so if you want to delete an object, let's say I want to get rid of this one over here. If I click here and just press delete and click outside, the box is still there. So if you want to get rid of the object, you click on the borders, click on the border, press delete once, press the delete key once, and it goes away. Okay, now it has disappeared completely. Okay, now within the home tab, you have a new slide. Once you click on new slide, it gives you various options. Now select the appropriate slide. What exactly do you want on the slide? Let's say I want to have a title and content. I'll click on this one. And what is the content? So let me just type here, what is the content? So content can be a list, okay? It can be a picture, which you get from the stock images. It can picture from your computer or online. It can also be an icon, okay? And it can be a smart graphic. It can be a cameo, a picture of someone talking, okay? It can be a video, and it can be a table, and it can also be a chart, okay? Let's start with the first one, which is a list. For example, I can say, okay, this is item 1, and then I have item 2. As you keep on pressing enter, it will keep on giving you a bullet. If you do not like the bullet, let's say you want to change this to a number, just highlight your bullet. And within the home tab, you have bullets and you have numbering. Click on this one. If you do not like the numbers, you would like to have some alphabets instead of numbers, you can just select the style that you want, okay? Sometimes if you want to have a list within a list, you click on this one, enter. Can I call this item 2.1? I'll call this item 2.2. And what essentially you can do is highlight this, come back over here, and just click on insert or increase the indent. And of course, you can change the numbering, okay? So that is how you make a list within a list. If you come down over here, if you take your mouse down over here, I forgot to show you the notes pages or the notes area. If you click on notes, you just take your mouse and just drag it up. This is a place where you can have some notes, okay? This is for my notes, which okay. And I can turn this off and on, okay? Or you can just take your mouse down over here. Once the mouse changes, press it and you drag it up. You can see it. So if you want some notes for each of the slides, you can go ahead and, just come over here and write some notes over here. Okay. Yeah. If you want to make a duplicate of a slide, just come over here, right click, and you say duplicate slide. Okay. So in the duplicate slide, I want to get rid of this. I do not want this. And I would like to have, let's say, a picture. Stock images. And again, you can have icons, cutouts, stickers, whatever. Just select one image and you can say insert. And there you go. Okay. Click on the home tab again. Let me create another 2 contents, maybe a comparison. And over here, I want to say a comparison. Maybe select an icon, picture which I have saved, or I can select an icon. Okay, these are my icons. Let's say I select this one, for example. Okay. Let me create another one. Click on new slide, and I want to have a title only. And I would like to questions. Okay. I would like to have a thank you slide. Of course, anytime you want to change the layout of a slide, all you need to do is just click on the slide, okay, and just say layout and change it to maybe this one, and automatically it will change the layout of the style of the slide. Okay, so let me create another one, and I'll say section heading. I'll call this section 1, and this is section 1. Okay, now if you see this designer over here, you click on any slide, and if your designer is on, it will suggest what kind of design. I mean, you basically can choose a design from one of these options. Okay, so it's basically within the Home tab, and you have designer. What you can do is you can turn this off, and it won't give you any suggestions. If you want to turn it on, click on this one, and it'll give you some options. Okay, so next what you have is, let me just run the slide or this presentation. What you can do is you can come over here. You can either press this one, and this will run from your current slide, or what you can do is press the F5 key, and it'll start running from the beginning. So I can use the page down key to go to the next slide, page up to go to the previous slide, or up arrow or down arrow to navigate. What I can also do is I can also have these. I also have these buttons over here, which you can use to go to the next one or to the previous one. What you also have is a pointer, which you can use when you're giving a presentation. Click on this one, and you have a laser pointer. Okay, when you're giving a presentation, this comes in handy so that your audience can follow what's happening. What you also have here is a pen, which you can use, for example, to make arrows or to write something. Okay. You can also erase this. Okay, let me go back over here. Let me erase this. Select the eraser, and just erase this. And also you have something called a highlighter. And so you want to highlight this part maybe, or maybe this part. Okay. And we go back, laser pointer, and I want to turn everything off. I don't want a laser pointer. Page up or up arrow to go to my previous slide. Okay. You want to come out, press the escape key once, and you come out. It'll ask you whatever changes you did with your marker. Those are called annotations. If you want to save those annotations, you can say keep. Otherwise, you can say discard. Okay, let me go to the top. Okay, now if you want to move your slides around, what you can do is you can either go to the slide sorter, okay, which you can also always get from here. Go to view, and right now I'm a slide sorter. And what I can do is, let's say I want to move these around, and I'll take this over here. I'll pull this over here. And once I'm satisfied, I can say, okay, go to the normal view. Okay. And to run it, again, either this one, or you can press the F5 key to run your presentation from the beginning. Okay, next what you want to do is you would like to have some sort of a design or a theme for all of your slides. So we're done with the home. Next, what we want to do is we want to select a design. Click on design, and you get a whole bunch of themes. Okay. What you can do is just hover your mouse. Let me hover my mouse, and it'll show you how each one looks. Okay. Let's say I would like to have this one. If you want to have more choices, you click over here in this down arrow, And again, you get a whole bunch of options. I'm going to select Metropolitan. And if you like the theme, but you do not like the color, it has some variants. Okay. And of course, you can play around with the fonts as well. If you want a particular font, click on this one and automatically it will be applied. Okay. Now this looks a little better. Again, I'll press F5. Okay, down arrow. Okay, I'll press escape. And right after that, there is something called a transition. Click on transition. Transition is basically how will one slide move to the other. So I'm going to use the push. Okay. And I have some options over here. Let's say push from top. Okay. And if you want something, some sound to be associated while doing the transition, click on this one. And let's say have a click. And of course, once you want to apply it to all of your slides, just say apply to all. Now let me run this. I'll press F5. Down arrow, take me to the next one. Up arrow to the previous one. Escape again. And next what you have is, which is optional, you have something called animation. Okay. Now by default, all your animations will be grayed out. Okay, they will be off. If you want to turn them on, you click on an object in the slide. Okay, so basically, if I turn this on, if you want this to be on, or click on an object. Now these are on, and if you click on this one, this will give you a number of options. For example, how will it enter? How will it emphasize? How will it exit? And if you want, you can have a motion path. Just for an example, let's say I want to select a zoom style, and that is how it will appear. Again, you can just, play around with this. I'm happy with this one. Excuse me. Okay, on click, it'll start on click. Let me run how this looks. What you can do is just do a preview, and that is the way it'll appear. Let me do something for this object over here. I'm going to do a turn, okay, grow and turn. Okay, now let me run this slide from, let me run this presentation on the top. We go to that slide, and that is the way it appears. Okay. Okay, so let me just save my slide or my presentation. Just say file and save. I gave the name 4, so I'm just going to save this again. Next, what I want to do is, I would like to print this out. So what I can do is I'll say file, and I'll say print. And it gives you a number of options. I want print, for example, in the settings. And by default, it will always print one slide on one page. Okay, what you can do is, let me go to my first slide. Okay, so instead of having one slide on one page, what I can do is I can select, let's say I want to have my slide on top. Okay, I want to have my slide on top and any notes on at the bottom. This is when you want to, have a printout. Maybe you want to give it to your audience to follow your presentation. Next, what you have is the outline. If you just want to give them the outline, or you want to have it for yourself, you can select the outline option. Another good one is if you want to have, let's say, 3 slides. Okay, so you have your slide on the left side, and your audience can take notes or write questions on the right side. Okay, let me go back. Now, what I also want to do is I would like to have some headers and footers. Okay, so to insert some headers and footers, click on the Insert tab, and within the Insert tab, you have headers and footers, and you have two tabs. One is Slide, which is headers and footers showing on the screen, and if you want to show the headers and footers on the printout, then you have to select this one. I want to do it for both, so I'll select Slide. I want to have some date and time. and you could have a fixed date, or if you want, you can have a specific format for your days, for example, this one. Okay. Language, of course, if you have many languages and you just want English, then you make sure that you select English. Slide number. As you select these options, you would notice that on the right side you can see a preview. Okay. On the footer, I would like to have my presentation, or any name that you would like to give. Okay. If you decide not to show the headers and footers on the first page or the title page, you can turn this on. Okay. Now it will not show any headers and footers on the first page. I want to do the same thing for my notes when I print them out. If you want to have a fixed date, you can put that right over there. You can select this fixed option. I would like to have headers and footers, maybe. Learn PowerPoint. And of course, you have to say apply to all. Okay. Now let me run this, F5. On the first page, there are no headers and footers. On the second page, now you can see the headers and footers. One thing what you need to do to remember is if you change the theme, okay? Let me go to design. Let's say I want to change the theme and the location of your slides, of your headers and footers will change automatically, which is fine, you know. Let's say this one, or this one maybe. See this one? So see, this time your headers and footers are being shown on a different location. So it depends on which theme you select. It will change the location of your headers and footers. Now let me just have a printout of this. Previously, we did not have any headers and footers. Now we do have some headers and footers. Okay, let me go back. There you go. Okay. Let me run it one more time. F5. That's my first one. Second. Of course, I can use these navigation buttons. There you go. And I can use annotations, or I can use my highlighter. Okay. Turn this off. Highlighter again. Up arrow, down arrow, and press the escape key. It'll take you back. Again, it'll ask you, do you want to keep the annotation? I'll say discard them. I don't want them. And that is how to use PowerPoint. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.